His own daughter looked him in the eyes and said, "Apologize to my husband, or live alone." So the old man quietly bought a one-way ticket and disappeared. But what no one knew was that his disappearance would uncover a decades-old secret, a fake marriage, and a criminal empire built on lies. If you enjoy emotional family dramas, shocking betrayals, and unexpected twists, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications because this story is only getting started. Chapter 1. The Man Who Asked Too Many Questions. I am Emil Kortson, and if there is one thing I have learned after 63 years of life, it is this. When someone suddenly becomes interested in your past, they usually want something from it. The winter I moved to Copenhagen was unusually cold. Snow covered the narrow streets outside my daughter's townhouse, and every morning I sat beside the kitchen window with a cup of black coffee, watching people hurry to work while steam rose from nearby cafes. 3 months earlier, I had suffered a minor heart attack in Bergen. It was not severe, but my daughter, Lyriel, insisted that I should not live alone anymore. "Dad, please. Just stay with us for a few months." At the time, I thought it sounded reasonable. I missed her. After my wife Celine passed away 8 years ago, the house had become painfully quiet. Every room carried memories, and even the sound of the clock at night sometimes felt unbearable. So I packed several suitcases and accepted her invitation. The first few days were pleasant. Lyriel cooked my favorite meals. We talked about old memories and laughed about things that had happened when she was little. For a brief moment, I thought perhaps life was giving me another chance to have a family again. Then I began noticing her husband, Cashin Voss. He was 41 years old, well-dressed, and always smiling. Everyone liked him. Neighbors greeted him warmly. Business partners called him charming. Even restaurant staff seemed happy when he entered. Yet something about him made me uncomfortable. He smiled too much. And he listened too carefully. On my 5th day in Copenhagen, he entered my room while I was reading. "I heard you worked as a maritime safety inspector." I nodded. "For many years." He sat across from me. "That sounds fascinating." "It was mostly paperwork. But surely there were accidents." "A few. Shipwrecks." I lowered my book. "A handful." He smiled. "I've always loved maritime history." I simply nodded. Then he asked a question that immediately caught my attention. "Did you ever investigate the Asterian incident?" The room suddenly felt colder. I stared at him. The Asterian. A cargo vessel that had sunk decades ago. Very few people remembered its name. Even fewer knew that I had been involved in the investigation. I forced a small smile. "No. I only heard about it." Cashin looked directly into my eyes. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then he smiled again. Perhaps I remembered incorrectly. But I knew he had not. That night, I could not sleep. Snow tapped softly against the windows while I lay awake in bed. How did he know about the Asterian? I had never discussed it publicly. The official reports remained buried in archives. Even my daughter barely knew anything about my work. The following week became increasingly strange. Cashin started joining me during breakfast, during lunch, even during evening walks. At first his questions sounded harmless. What ports had I visited? Did I keep old journals? Had I ever encountered smuggling operations? Did I preserve any records from my investigations? The questions never stopped. One afternoon I returned from a walk and immediately sensed something was wrong. My suitcase had been moved. The zipper was partially open. I stood silently in the middle of my room. I always arranged my belongings carefully. Now several shirts had been folded differently. Someone had searched through my things. I checked my desk. The old leather notebook I kept hidden beneath several documents was no longer in the same position. My heartbeat accelerated. I opened it immediately. Nothing seemed missing. Yet I knew someone had touched it. I closed the notebook slowly. Then I heard footsteps outside my door. Cashin appeared. "Oh, there you are," he said casually. "I was wondering if you wanted coffee." I looked at him carefully. He seemed perfectly relaxed. Too relaxed. "Thank you," I replied. His eyes briefly moved toward the notebook in my hands. Only for a second. But I noticed. And in that single moment, I understood something. He was looking for information. The question was why. That evening, I decided to test him. During dinner, I suddenly mentioned an old ship from my career. A vessel that never actually existed. Cashin immediately leaned forward. "What happened to it?" I remained silent. Then I smiled. It never existed. For the first time since I had met him, his expression changed. Only briefly. But long enough. Embarrassment. Then irritation. He laughed softly. "I suppose I walked into that one. Perhaps. But I had also learned something. He was fishing for details. Specific details. And he was becoming impatient." Later that night, I opened my old notebook again. Inside were records I had kept hidden for nearly 40 years. Most people would consider them meaningless. Coordinates. Names. Shipping manifests. Inspection notes. But together they formed something far more dangerous. A secret connected to the Asterian. A secret worth a fortune. I stared at the pages for a long time. Then I looked toward the dark window. Outside, snow continued falling over Copenhagen. Inside the house, everyone appeared asleep. Yet for some reason, I could not shake the feeling that someone was awake. Watching. Waiting. And planning. I had come here believing I was moving into my daughter's home. I was beginning to suspect that I had stepped into something entirely different. And I had the uneasy feeling that Christmas would change everything. Chapter 2. The Christmas Accusation. The days leading to Christmas became increasingly uncomfortable. Cashin remained polite, but there was now an unusual intensity behind every conversation. He began asking me questions indirectly. Sometimes during breakfast. Sometimes while driving. Sometimes while pretending to discuss history. Maritime archives must contain incredible secrets. You probably met interesting people. I wonder how many treasures remain lost beneath the sea. Every sentence sounded casual. None of them were. I started locking my room whenever I left the house. 2 days before Christmas, I noticed Lyriel acting differently as well. She looked distracted. Nervous. Whenever I entered a room, she and Cashin would suddenly stop talking. At first, I assumed they were simply discussing family matters. Then I began hearing my own name. One evening I walked downstairs to get water and heard Cashin speaking softly. "He can't keep hiding it forever." Lyriel answered in a worried voice. "Are you absolutely sure? I've seen enough evidence." I froze. Evidence? Of what? The floor creaked beneath my foot. Immediately, the conversation stopped. A few seconds later, Cashin appeared in the hallway wearing his usual smile. "Couldn't sleep." I forced myself to remain calm. "No." He nodded. "Christmas can make people emotional." I said nothing. For the first time since arriving in Copenhagen, I felt like an outsider inside my own daughter's house. The next morning, I checked my notebook again. Nothing appeared missing. But someone had definitely searched through my belongings a second time. This time I decided to hide the notebook elsewhere. I placed it inside an old winter coat that remained at the back of my closet. If someone searched my room again, I would know. Christmas Eve finally arrived. Outside, the city looked beautiful. Snow-covered rooftops. Lights decorated every street. Families laughed inside restaurants. Yet inside our house, tension filled the air. Lyriel spent hours preparing dinner. Cashin appeared unusually cheerful. Too cheerful. At 7 in the evening, we finally sat at the dining table. candles flickered softly. For a few minutes, everything seemed normal. We discussed old memories, the weather, my hometown. Then Cashin placed his wine glass down. "I think we need to talk." His tone instantly changed the atmosphere. Lyriel lowered her eyes. I looked at both of them. "What is it?" Cashin sighed dramatically. "I didn't want to do this tonight." "Do what?" He reached beneath the table and removed several documents. My stomach tightened. Bank statements, printed transactions. He carefully placed them in front of me. "Perhaps you should explain these." I adjusted my glasses. Then I felt my blood run cold. My name appeared on the documents. Several large transfers had supposedly been made over the previous weeks. The total amount exceeded 60,000 euros. I looked at him in disbelief. "What is this?" Lyriel finally spoke. "Dad, the money disappeared from our accounts." I stared at her. "What are you talking about?" Cashin spoke gently. "The transfers were made using your identification." "No." I immediately pushed the papers away. "This is impossible. We checked everything. I never touched your accounts." Silence filled the room. Then Lyriel looked at me with tears in her eyes. "Please don't lie." Her words hurt more than I expected. I looked at my daughter, the little girl who once trusted me more than anyone. Now she was looking at me like a stranger. "I am telling the truth." Cashin sighed again. "I know this must be embarrassing." "Embarrassing?" I looked at him. For the first time, I noticed something behind his expression. Not concern. Not sadness. Satisfaction. Then he spoke the sentence that revealed everything. "Perhaps age is affecting your memory." I slowly stood. "My memory is perfectly fine." "Emile. Don't." The room became silent. I suddenly understood. This was not about money. This was pressure. A trap. Cashin leaned back in his chair. "There are things you have hidden for many years." I looked directly at him. He continued. "Secrets." Lyriel frowned. "Cashin." He ignored her. "You should tell us the truth." I felt my heartbeat quicken. There it was. Finally. His real objective. I said nothing. Then he lowered his voice. "The Asterian." The entire room seemed to freeze. Lyriel looked confused. "What is he talking about?" Cashin continued staring at me. "I know you kept records." I remained silent. "I know you preserved information." Still I said nothing. "And I know you know where the cargo disappeared." Lyriel looked between us. "Dad." I slowly sat down. Everything finally made sense. The questions. The searches. The fake evidence. This had been planned from the beginning. Cashin had not invited me into his life. He had invited my secrets. "I don't know what you're talking about." For the first time, his smile disappeared. "You still want to play games?" "There are no games." He suddenly slammed his hand onto the table. The sound made Lyriel jump. "Enough." Several candles nearly fell. I looked at him calmly. The polite mask was finally cracking. "You've hidden information for decades." "I have hidden nothing." "You are lying." "No." His breathing became heavier. Then he leaned closer. "Give me the notebook." My heart nearly stopped. He knew. He had definitely searched my room. "What notebook?" The expression in his eyes darkened. Then Lyriel suddenly stood. "Dad, please." I looked at her. She appeared frightened, confused, torn between us. Then she spoke the words I would never forget. "If there is something wrong, just apologize." I stared at her. Apologize? For something I had not done? Cashin slowly folded his arms. The room remained silent. Then Lyriel's voice trembled. "Apologize to my husband." She swallowed hard. "Or live alone." Everything inside me became quiet. The candles, the snow outside, the sound of the clock, all of it seemed distant. I looked at my daughter for a very long time. I realized then that she truly believed him. She believed I was lying. She believed I had betrayed them. And perhaps worst of all, she had chosen him. Not me. Him. I slowly stood from the table. Chapter 3. The One-Way Ticket. I did not sleep that night. I remained seated beside the window while snow continued falling over Copenhagen. Downstairs, I occasionally heard footsteps. A door opening. A door closing. Low voices. Perhaps they were discussing me. Perhaps they were celebrating. I no longer cared. At 2 in the morning, I opened my old leather notebook again. Its pages had yellowed with age. Inside were records I had kept hidden for nearly 4 decades. Coordinates. Inspection reports. Names of shipping companies. Photographs. And one sealed envelope. The truth was simple. The Asterion had not merely been a shipwreck. It had been carrying dozens of stolen historical artifacts that had disappeared from museums during political unrest in several countries. Officially, everything had been lost beneath the sea. Unofficially, several containers had vanished before the ship sank. Only a handful of investigators ever discovered inconsistencies in the reports. I was one of them. Back then, I chose silence. Not because I wanted money, but because dangerous people were involved. One of my colleagues died in what authorities called a traffic accident only 2 months after asking too many questions. I learned quickly. Some secrets survive because people are afraid. I carefully closed the notebook. Then I looked around the room. The family photographs. The books. The old coat hanging near the door. For a brief moment, sadness filled me. I had come here hoping to spend my remaining years closer to my daughter. Instead, I had become a target. The following morning, nobody mentioned the argument. Lyriel prepared breakfast in silence. Cashin read the newspaper. The atmosphere felt strangely normal. Too normal. I finally understood. They expected me to surrender. To apologize. To hand over my secrets. I quietly drank my coffee. Then Cashin suddenly spoke. "Have you thought about what happened yesterday?" I looked at him. "Yes." He smiled slightly. "And I think it was educational." His expression changed. Educational. "It taught me many things." Lyriel looked uncomfortable. Cashin folded the newspaper. "What exactly did it teach you?" I calmly met his eyes. "It taught me whom I can trust." Silence. For a moment, nobody spoke. Then I stood. "I'll go for a walk." Outside, the cold air immediately hit my face. I walked through narrow streets without any destination. Christmas decorations surrounded me. Children laughed. Couples carried gifts. Everything looked peaceful. Yet I felt strangely detached from it all. After nearly an hour, I entered a small cafe near the harbor. An elderly woman served me coffee. I sat beside the window. Then I made my decision. I would disappear. Completely. No arguments. No explanations. No dramatic confrontation. I would simply leave. Sometimes absence reveals more than words. 3 days later, I visited a travel agency. The young employee smiled politely. "One way or round trip, Mr. Kortson?" I looked at the map on the wall. For several seconds, I said nothing. Then I answered. "One way. Destination." I thought about it. Far enough to be forgotten. Quiet enough to think. Finally, I said, "Iceland." The woman nodded. "When would you like to depart?" "As soon as possible." She typed on her computer. 3 weeks from today. Perfect. As she printed the ticket, I felt an unexpected sense of relief. For the first time in months, I could breathe normally. I folded the ticket carefully and placed it inside my wallet. A one-way ticket. No return date. No promises. No expectations. When I returned home, I found Cashin standing in the living room. He looked at me carefully. You seem happier. I am. Interesting. I removed my coat. Why? He smiled. No reason. But I could tell he was suspicious. Over the following weeks, I began preparing quietly. I transferred my savings, closed several accounts, contacted an old attorney in Bergen, organized personal documents. I did everything slowly and carefully. Nobody noticed. Or perhaps they simply did not believe I would actually leave. Then, one evening, I accidentally overheard another conversation. I had gone downstairs for water when I heard Cashin speaking. He's hiding something. Lyriel sounded exhausted. Dad wouldn't steal. You saw the evidence. I know, but listen to me. His voice became softer. If he tells us the truth, everything can be solved. What truth? A long silence followed. Then Cashin answered. The truth about the Asterian. I remained frozen. Lyriel sighed. I don't even understand what that is. You don't need to. Then why are you obsessed with it? Silence again. Longer this time. Finally, Cashin replied. Because your father has spent 40 years lying. I slowly stepped away before they could notice me. At that moment, I realized something important. Lyriel still knew almost nothing. She was being manipulated, used. The thought made me unexpectedly sad. She had chosen her husband, but perhaps she did not yet understand who he truly was. 3 weeks passed quickly. The morning of my departure finally arrived. The house remained silent. Outside, dawn had barely appeared. I carried only 2 suitcases. Nothing more. Before leaving, I entered my daughter's study. For several seconds, I simply stood there. Photographs covered the shelves. One picture showed Lyriel at age 10, smiling while holding a seashell I had brought from Scotland. Another showed her graduation day. I swallowed slowly. Then I placed a small metal box on her desk. Inside it was a key and a handwritten note. The note contained only one sentence. If you truly wish to know who your husband is, open locker 17 in Bergen Harbor. Nothing else. No accusations. No explanations. I closed the box. Then I looked around one final time. Perhaps I would never see this house again. As I reached the front door, I suddenly heard footsteps upstairs. Someone had awakened. For one brief moment, I considered staying. Perhaps we could still talk. Perhaps things could still be repaired. Then I remembered her words. Apologize to my husband or live alone. The pain returned immediately. I quietly opened the door. Cold air rushed inside. Without another look back, I stepped outside. Snow covered the streets. My taxi was waiting. As the vehicle drove away, I looked at the townhouse through the rear window. Chapter 4. The box I left behind. I arrived in Iceland during the late afternoon. The sky was gray, and cold winds swept across the small airport. For most people, the landscape would have looked lonely. For me, it looked peaceful. No expectations. No accusations. No painful memories waiting behind every door. I rented a modest cabin near Akureyri, several hours away from Reykjavik. The cabin stood near a frozen lake, surrounded by snow-covered hills and a handful of pine trees. The owner, an elderly fisherman named Hjalmar, handed me the keys. You staying long? I looked toward the distant mountains. I honestly don't know. He smiled. Then perhaps this is exactly where you should be. His words stayed with me. The first week passed quietly. I woke early, made coffee, read books, walked beside the frozen shoreline. For the first time in years, I was not constantly thinking about responsibilities. I was simply existing. And yet, every evening, I found myself looking at my phone. It remained switched off. I wondered if Lyriel had opened the box. I wondered if she hated me. I wondered if she even cared that I was gone. On the 8th day, I finally turned my phone on. The device immediately exploded with notifications. 32 missed calls. Dozens of messages. Most were from my daughter. The first messages were angry. "Dad, where are you? Please answer. This isn't funny." Then came confusion. "Did something happen? Please call me." After that, the messages changed. "Dad, I'm worried. I didn't mean for things to go this far. Please, just tell me you're okay." The final message had been sent only 6 hours earlier. It contained only 4 words. I opened the box. I stared at the screen for a long time. Then another message arrived. "Dad, who is my husband?" A cold feeling spread through me. She had found locker 17, which meant she now knew at least part of the truth. I placed the phone on the table. For several minutes, I remained completely still. Then someone knocked on my door. I frowned. Almost nobody knew where I was. I opened it cautiously. Standing outside was a woman in her early 50s. She wore a dark coat and held a leather folder beneath her arm. Her expression was serious. "Mr. Emile Kortson?" "Yes. My name is Dr. Seraphine Edivane." I had never heard the name before. I apologize for appearing unexpectedly. "How did you find me?" "That is a long story." I remained silent. Then she added, "It concerns the Asterian." Every muscle in my body stiffened. I slowly stepped aside. "Please come in." A few minutes later, she sat near the fireplace while snow continued falling outside. She carefully removed several documents from her folder. "I work with an international recovery task force." I frowned. Recovery? Stolen cultural property. She placed photographs on the table. Ancient statues, paintings, jewelry, historical manuscripts. Many appeared familiar. I looked at her. "The Asterian." She nodded. "Yes." For a long moment neither of us spoke. Finally, she sighed. "We have spent years investigating an illegal network responsible for trafficking historical artifacts. And we believe Cashin Voss is deeply involved." I slowly leaned back. Although I had suspected something terrible, hearing it spoken aloud still felt unsettling. She continued, "His restoration company is merely a front." I looked toward the window. The falling snow suddenly seemed much heavier. "How long have you known?" "Nearly 3 years." "And why come to me?" She opened another file. Inside were photographs of Cashin meeting various individuals in different countries. One image showed him standing beside shipping containers. Another showed him boarding a private yacht. Then she placed one final photograph before me. I immediately recognized the man standing beside Cashin. My breathing stopped. "No. You know him." I nodded slowly. "He was an investigator." "What was his name?" "Roderick Vale." Dr. Seraphine's expression changed. "You knew him personally?" "Yes." She remained silent. I looked again at the photograph. Roderick had been my colleague decades earlier. The same man who had died in what authorities called a traffic accident. Except now I realized something horrifying. Perhaps it had never been an accident. Dr. Seraphine spoke quietly. "We recently discovered evidence suggesting Mr. Vale had been murdered." I closed my eyes. 40 years. For 40 years I had believed fear had saved my life. Now I realized that silence had simply allowed dangerous people to become even stronger. She carefully watched me. I believe your records may finally expose the network. I looked at her. And if I refuse? She answered immediately. Then more people will continue searching for the treasure. Silence filled the room. The fire crackled softly. Outside, the wind became stronger. Finally, she added something unexpected. Your daughter may also be in danger. I looked up immediately. What do you mean? Cashin has become desperate. She opened another document. We intercepted several communications. I read the pages. My hands slowly tightened. One sentence immediately caught my attention. Find the notebook before she learns too much. I raised my eyes. He knows she opened the locker. Dr. Seraphine nodded. Yes. For the first time since arriving in Iceland, genuine fear entered my heart. Not for myself. For Lyriel. I suddenly remembered her final message. Who is my husband? She did not know. She had been manipulated from the beginning. Used. Perhaps even watched. The realization was painful. I had spent weeks believing she had betrayed me completely. But now another possibility emerged. Maybe she had simply trusted the wrong person. Dr. Seraphine gently closed the folder. Mr. Courtson. I looked at her. We believe you are not his target. I frowned. Then what am I? Her answer came immediately. You are the final piece he has been searching for. Silence followed. The cabin suddenly felt much smaller. I slowly looked toward my old leather notebook resting on the nearby shelf. Chapter 5. The Man Behind the Mask. I immediately called Lyriel. For several seconds, there was only silence. Then she answered. Dad. Her voice was shaking. I stood up from my chair. Are you all right? No. The answer came instantly. I closed my eyes. What happened? I heard her breathing unevenly. I opened the locker yesterday. And there were documents, photographs, shipping records, fake identities. She paused. My signature was on several papers. My heart sank. What? I never signed them. A long silence followed. Then she whispered, Dad, Cashin has been using my name. Outside, the wind struck the cabin windows. I looked toward Dr. Seraphine. She already understood. Where is he now? I asked. I don't know. What do you mean? He left this morning. When? Hours ago. I felt a growing sense of urgency. Did he say anything? No. Did he threaten you? Silence. That silence gave me the answer. Lyriel. Her voice became smaller. He knows I opened the locker. I clenched my jaw. Listen carefully. Leave the house. What? Immediately. Dad. Now. I rarely raised my voice. She became quiet. Then she spoke softly. I don't understand any of this. I know. I thought you were lying. I said nothing. Tears entered her voice. I thought you betrayed us. The pain in her words felt genuine. But there was no time. Take your phone and leave. Where should I go? I looked at Dr. Seraphine. She nodded. Go to the Grand Northern Hotel near the harbor. Why? Just do it. Another pause. Then she whispered, I'm sorry. I closed my eyes. For the first time since leaving Copenhagen, I heard my daughter sound like herself again. Not angry. Not distant. Simply afraid. I know. The line disconnected. For several moments, nobody spoke. Finally, Dr. Seraphine stood. We need to move quickly. What happens now? She looked directly at me. Now we force Cashin to make mistakes. 3 days later, I returned to Copenhagen. I had not expected to see the city again so soon. The snow had begun melting. The streets looked almost identical to when I left. Yet everything felt different. This time I was not returning as a father seeking reconciliation. I was returning because my daughter was in danger. Dr. Seraphine arranged temporary protection for Lyriel. When I finally saw her again, she looked exhausted. Dark circles surrounded her eyes. She stood motionless in the hotel room. For several seconds, neither of us moved. Then she suddenly began crying. "I'm sorry." The words came repeatedly. "I'm so sorry." I looked at my daughter. The same little girl I once carried through rainy streets. The same child who used to hide behind me whenever thunderstorms frightened her. I slowly walked forward. She looked broken. I should have listened. Her shoulders trembled. "I thought you hated him because you didn't trust anyone." I gently placed my hand on her shoulder. "No." She looked up at me. "I hated him because he asked questions no honest man would ask." She lowered her eyes. Then she handed me a folder. I found these in his office. Inside were copies of contracts, bank transfers, and several photographs. But one document immediately caught my attention. A marriage agreement. I frowned. "What is this?" Lyriel looked away. It was signed 6 months before our wedding. I slowly read the pages. The agreement contained financial clauses and inheritance details. Then I saw another section. A private investigation report. Subject, Emil Kortsen. My breathing stopped. The report contained information about me. My career. My finances. My habits. Even details about my late wife. I looked up slowly. "He investigated me before marrying you." Lyriel nodded. Tears returned to her eyes. "I think." Her voice broke. "I think he married me because of you." The room became silent. I continued reading. Another page contained references to maritime archives. Another mentioned the Asterian. And another contained one sentence that made my blood run cold. Objective remains incomplete until location of missing cargo is confirmed. I slowly lowered the papers. For several moments, nobody spoke. Finally, Lyriel whispered, "Was any of it real?" I looked at her. "What?" "Our marriage." Her eyes filled with tears. "Did he ever love me?" I had no answer. And perhaps that silence was answer enough. At that moment, Dr. Seraphine entered the room. "We found him." Both of us immediately looked at her. "Where?" She placed another file on the table. "Rotterdam." "Why there?" "We intercepted communications." She opened several photographs. Cashin was arranging a private meeting. Shipping warehouses. Cargo manifests. Names of buyers. One final transaction. He was preparing to sell information regarding the Asterian. He thinks your notebook contains the final coordinates. I frowned. "But it doesn't." She looked at me. "You never wrote them down." I nodded. I had memorized the most important details decades ago. The notebook contained clues. Nothing more. Cashin had spent years chasing incomplete information. And now he was becoming desperate. Dr. Seraphine folded her arms. "He believes time is running out." Lyriel looked confused. "Why?" "Because authorities are getting close." She pointed at one photograph. "Several of his partners have already disappeared." I immediately understood. The network was collapsing. Cashin needed one final victory. One final fortune. One final secret. And he believed I possessed it. Then my phone vibrated. An unknown number. I answered cautiously. A familiar voice spoke. "Mr. Kortsen." I froze. "Cashin, I assume you've returned." I said nothing. He laughed softly. You know, disappearing was rude. What do you want? A short silence followed. Then his tone changed. I want what belongs to me. It never belonged to you. Perhaps. His voice became colder. But your daughter does. Every person in the room became still. I slowly tightened my grip on the phone. If anything happens to her, it already has. I heard him exhale. She opened things that should have remained closed. Stay away from her. He laughed again. Chapter 6. The Collapse of Cashin Voss. After the call ended, nobody in the room spoke. The silence felt heavy. Lyriel sat on the edge of the sofa, tears continuing to fall. I looked at my daughter and suddenly realized something painful. She had not only lost her trust in her husband, she had lost 7 years of her life. Every anniversary, every promise, every memory, all of it had been built upon lies. Dr. Seraphine finally broke the silence. He made a mistake. I looked at her. He contacted you directly. And she folded her arms. Desperate people become careless. Lyriel slowly raised her head. What happens now? Dr. Seraphine opened another folder. We already know where the meeting will take place. Meeting? She nodded. Rotterdam Harbor. I frowned. He still believes I have the notebook. He does. And if I go, she looked directly at me. Then he will expose himself. The room became quiet again. I understood what she was suggesting. A trap. Dangerous. But perhaps necessary. Lyriel immediately stood. No. Both of us looked at her. You can't go. Lyriel. He threatened us. Her voice trembled. What if he hurts you? I slowly approached her. For a long moment, I said nothing. Then I gently placed my hands on her shoulders. When you were little, you once climbed a tree. She blinked. What? You were 8 years old. Confusion appeared on her face. You got stuck halfway up and started crying. A small tear rolled down her cheek. You remember that? I remember everything. I smiled faintly. You asked me if I was scared. She remained silent. And I told you something. Her lips trembled. You said fathers are always scared. I nodded. But they climb anyway. Tears immediately filled her eyes again. I embraced my daughter. For several seconds, she simply cried. I am so sorry, Dad. I closed my eyes. I know. I should have trusted you. We cannot change the past. Her voice became smaller. Can you forgive me? I looked at her. The answer had already existed long before she asked. Yes. She began crying even harder. Because forgiveness sometimes hurts more than anger. 3 days later, we traveled to Rotterdam. The harbor was enormous. Cargo ships filled the docks. Thousands of containers stood in endless rows. Rain covered the city that evening. The operation had already begun. Several investigators were disguised as dock workers. Others waited nearby. Dr. Seraphine stood beside me. You only need to talk. And then we wait. I nodded. At precisely 8 in the evening, a black vehicle entered the warehouse district. A man stepped out. Cashin. Even from a distance, he appeared calm, elegant, perfectly composed, as though nothing had happened, as though he had not destroyed countless lives. He entered the warehouse. A few minutes later, I followed. The building was dark. Only several overhead lights remained on. Cashin stood beside wooden crates. When he saw me, he smiled. Mr. Kortson. I said nothing. He looked around. No police. Just me. He laughed softly. I doubt that. I slowly approached. For several seconds, we simply stared at one another. Then he sighed. You know, things could have been easier. You married my daughter. Yes. You used her. A brief silence followed. Then he shrugged. Unfortunately, the lack of remorse in his voice disgusted me. Did you ever care about her? He smiled again. Does the answer matter? My hands tightened. He noticed. You see, that is why you lost. I lost nothing. Oh. He slowly walked closer. You spent 40 years hiding. His voice became colder. You destroyed your family because of secrets. I tried to protect them. And look where that brought you. For a moment, I said nothing. Then I looked directly into his eyes. No. His smile faded slightly. You destroyed this family. Silence. Rain struck the warehouse roof. Then Cashin exhaled. Perhaps. He extended his hand. The notebook. I reached inside my coat. Cashin's eyes immediately focused. Slowly, I removed the old leather notebook. He smiled. Finally. After years of obsession. Years of manipulation. Years of lies. He believed victory was in front of him. You have no idea how long I waited for this. I looked at him quietly. Actually, I do. He frowned. What? You spent 7 years planning this. His expression changed. You investigated my family. Silence. You manipulated my daughter. His smile disappeared entirely. You forged documents. Another silence. You built your entire life around a treasure you never understood. For the first time, uncertainty appeared in his eyes. Then I held the notebook higher. You know the funny thing? He stared at me. There are no coordinates inside. The warehouse became completely silent. What? I never wrote them down. He laughed. A short, disbelieving laugh. Stop playing games. I memorized everything decades ago. No. It was too dangerous. No. I calmly looked at him. The notebook contains only fragments. His face slowly lost color. You are lying. I am not. He took several steps toward me. You think this is amusing? I think your obsession blinded you. His breathing became heavier. Years. He had sacrificed years. Destroyed marriages. Committed crimes. All for something he never possessed. Where are the coordinates? I remained silent. Where? At that exact moment, another voice echoed through the warehouse. Mr. Voss. Cashin froze. Lights suddenly illuminated the entire building. Doors opened. Investigators entered from every direction. Dozens of them. Dr. Seraphine walked forward. It's over. For the first time, genuine panic appeared on his face. No. He looked around frantically. Vehicles surrounded the exits. More officers entered. The trap had closed. Cashin stepped backward. Then another investigator spoke. We also recovered your financial records. Another voice followed. And your shipping manifests. And your offshore accounts. And testimonies from your former partners. His expression completely changed. Everything.